massively successful, soon to be simulcast overnight on
so
talkSPORT.
good they broadcast it twice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Albeit at the same time.
We're looking forward to that, yeah. We'll get a lot of extra listeners, though, people who may have not heard it before, you know.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
we welcome them all in, really.
Yes.
And the podcast's going very strong.
Well,
those who don't want to stay up all
thing
night.
is, guys, the thing is about the news station, of course, just to explain to our millions of listeners.
There's not a lot of time here.
It's
like a 3-hour show.
DAB, which means it's worldwide. Now, just to let you know that when we do our show, we do a podcast and all that, 31 countries have now pick up, because they tell us they're picking up the old podcast. So we are talkSPORT now, and all its associate stations is literally a worldwide, global listening business.
It certainly is.
Yeah, it's been that for a while, actually.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with us.
Well, it's nothing to do with you.
No, it's nothing to do with us. We've been, broadcasting.
How
the
fat
Premier
you look
League.
with those headphones on your head, by the way.
Really?
Six chins Graham.
You'll be flat out on the floor in about an hour. That's my prediction. Before your show's over.
We thought we'd get you on early. We remember the last time.
Well, we nearly missed getting here, because also did you hear how much he paid for the tickets to come down here?
No.
He has paid £500.
What?
£500 for both of us to
for
come
the
to
train
Cheltenham
tickets?
for the train tickets, yeah.
Yes.
And last night people were tweeting again, you could have got them for 100.
Yes,
But, because he thinks the more you pay, the more important you are.
No, it's not true.
500 quid.
Did you have your own carriage?
We had first class, but it was busy. Everyone was in there, and none of them paid what we paid.
No.
I've never felt so stupid. Luckily, he's paying for it. So
I decided we need flexibility to get here and get back, you see what I mean? Because we're busy people.
Yeah.
Flexibility.
That's what trains do. They come
if we'd been
in one direction, they go back in the other.
If we'd been non-flexible and taken the 936 out of Paddington and the 602 back
This is
to your
very
club
boring,
dog,
by the way.
that would have cost £157.
This is really boring.
Right?
Do you not realise we've got a very limited
Breaking
amount...
news, £157 for that return ticket.
This is the same man who the other night said, I really liked the Virgin train going up to Goodison when I went, because it went in one direction and came back in the other, and it was very modern. And that was his kind of, appreciation.
I noticed on Sunday morning on Twitter, Mike, you were ecstatic. I don't blame you. It was a marvellous result, and you were, weren't you? Very, very happy.
It's good if you should remind him about Sunday as well, because he can't remember.
Well, it was bad for me.
No, and Andy, it's very kind of you to do that, and it's generous, because, of course, Chelsea fans are used to success, and when you're used to success over a decade and a half, when success doesn't come, you can get bitter and twisted, and you feel,
And you wouldn't describe Andy as bitter and twisted,
never.
What do you mean by that?
I would. Never.
I would too.
And all I'm saying is that now, what I'm looking for is for Everton to maybe recall the 80s when we were a very successful club. Could have been one of the biggest clubs in Europe without the tragedy of Hazel and all that kind of stuff. And I expect Everton now to play West Ham United in the semi-finals. I'm sorry to all my Manchester United friends and all that kind of stuff.
Friends?
Yeah, no. And I expect it now to be an Everton versus Crystal Palace final, which will be
Producers at
sensational.
Watford fans, you're just about to turn your mic off.
You want the Porky Jinx, because that means it will not be Everton Crystal
But most
Palace.
Producers know square all about the shows they're producing.
Big game for Everton tomorrow, Mike, which will affect the title race massively. I mean, it's an absolute must-win for Arsenal. If they don't win tomorrow, they're virtually out of it. I think Everton will be a tough opponent.
I'm telling you, Andy, Everton have been so erratic this season, it's almost impossible to predict how they're going to be. But tomorrow they're going to be great, and they're going to beat Arsenal 3-1. And I tell you what is going to be very, very emphatic about tomorrow. Theo Walcott is in the England squad.
Yeah.
I love Theo Walcott. I think he's a fantastic footballer.
Just clip that bit.
He is the fastest footballer in England, and no manager's ever used his speed to demonstrate
He used to be the fastest, maybe.
how good he can be. But I'm telling you, Everton will beat Arsenal tomorrow 3-1.
Wow.
We'll beat West Ham in the semi-final of the FA Cup. We'll then beat Crystal Palace in the final. Everton are on the trail
What's that
of
to do
a
with Theo
return.
Walcott, though? You mentioned Theo Walcott.
Theo
Would you
Walcott.
like to say something about
because
how
he wants Aaron Lennon to be in the side.
You've now lost faith in Theo Walcott.
No, I would never lose faith in Theo Walcott, because I think he is literally, as opposed to some footballers who misbehave, we're not going to dwell on that, Theo Walcott is the most distinguished and generous young man I've ever met in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
I wish him well, and I wish him the best. He's the fastest footballer I've
So
ever
should
seen.
he be in the England squad or not?
I'll
I'll take that as a no.
Mike, just really quickly, when we saw the pictures of the MK Dons players, I wonder if it brought back any memories of anybody else who maybe disgraced themselves on a balcony at a sporting event. Did it ring any bells? Is there anything that might happen?
White Hart Lane,
for example.
Yeah, you get sacked in the morning, that kind of thing.
Nothing like that hadn't occurred to me. until you decided. And if you're trying to put me on the spot,
no.
May I just can I explain exactly what happened that evening?
Yeah.
What happened?
You removed your shirt and waved it above your head.
No, I did not.
There is pictorial evidence of it.
I am dining in the box, and then we go to the seats which are outside the box. It's at White Hart Lane, which you've got starred.
Yeah, okay.
I then decide.
That makes it any better.
Excuse me. I then decide, because I'd been on
this way of telling stories in like a really, really long-winded way.
I'd been on.
He has to fill time.
When you've got 5 hours, that's not so bad. When you've got 15 minutes.
I had been on a 3-year diet to remove the middle of my tummy.
Yeah.
So I removed my shirt, showed it to them, and I said, "What do you see there? Nothing." They then start sacking them on that kind of stuff. One man, very close to me on the lower deck, what's it called there at Spurs? The
shelf.
The shelf.
It was the shelf, yeah.
He shouts up to me and he says, "Hey, Brazil says you've never had your leg over, Porky." I then, as a demonstration, just literally put my leg over. I mean, not in a sexual context.
The best thing is when he starts to explain stuff, and then it gets even worse.
And it was at that point I got ejected from the stadium. I mean, people misinterpreted what I was trying to do.
So as we say, Samir Carruthers, you're off the hook.
I did advise him not to wear the Peaky Blinders hat that he wanted to wear today.
Oh, really?
That's what old Carruthers was wearing.
Yes, of course. Now, we always, obviously we know Mike supports, but do you have a football team, Mike, that you follow?
Not really, no. I mean,
the games we're going to be covering this afternoon are Everton Arsenal, Swansea Villa, which is live on talkSPORT, as is the Newcastle Sunderland derby match, at Manchester City, Manchester United are our games this afternoon. Our pro, actually let's start with our talkSPORT listener. He's done every other job at talkSPORT,
absolutely
apart
everything.
from being a listener. He's Ian Danto. Good afternoon, Dan.
Yeah, Fisherman's Blues still to go as well, boys. That's right. Once I've done that, then I've gone right through the card.
You did our show this week, so that was good.
That's true. And then I'm going to work through the talkSPORT 2 card. That's next on the agenda.
Of course. Our celebrity is Paddy Power. Good afternoon again.
Thanks, Paddy. I'm delighted I got the celebrity over your next guest.
Yes, exactly. Because our pro, and
he used to be explaining his very high level
credentials, our professional this afternoon is Mr. Mike Parry, has returned.
I'm very glad to be here, boys. Thank you very much indeed for recognising the quality of my contribution.
Okay, fantastic. Is it working? It
went a bit echoey.
It went a bit echoey and a bit weird, so it didn't sound like he was on mic, to be honest.
Just sounded like he normally sounds, really.
We may need a word to the office, but...
To be honest, like, our mics will probably pick up Mike when he starts talking. Even if you're about 3 boxes away, we'd still pick it up.
Just lean over.
We're getting the dub mix of Mike Parry. He's probably sounding fine at the other end, so we'll crack on.
I sound better twice rather than once.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
This is really disconcerting.
Okay, here we go then. He played for what schools did you play for?
I played for English grammar schools. I was a star.
Yeah.
Mr. Brazil, Mr. Townsend always claim I was never an international footballer.
Right.
But I was.
You were. Well, that's perfect for us, Mike. That's enough.
Okay.
These are the standings. We get 3 points for getting it right, 1 for getting the outcome right, nothing for getting it wrong.
Need to again tomorrow. But I think Arsenal, they're desperate for this. They've got a good record against Everton, so many apologies, Mike, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1 to Arsenal. Our pro is Mike Parry, the Evertonian, the former English schools international. What do you think, Mike?
I think it'll be 3-1 to Everton.
Yeah.
Everton on the roll now. They're going towards the semi-final. We're going to go to the cup final. Everton are going to trounce Arsenal because I'm afraid Arsenal are on the bottom half of the parabola of their season.
They're on the slide. Okay, 3-1 says Mike Parry. Our celeb is Paddy Power. Paddy,
just to confirm, Mike's he's not English Schools International, English Grammar Schools International. I assume there's a distinction there. It's actually not quite as good as English schools. I'm just confirming factual confirmation.
Yeah.
It's fine. Anyway, I think it's going to be 1-1. Everton Arsenal
1-1. Says Paddy Power there.
I love the way he's looking at you. You're his guest this afternoon. Don't look at him like that.
Yeah, you'd be out in your ear like you were at White Hart Lane.
He's being a bit harsh to me. He's being a bit harsh.
I do quite fancy Everton. I think they'll have their tails up after last week. Good at Swansea. Mike Parry, our pro.
I totally agree with Andy. Villa can't win another game this season. I would say 3-0.
3-0. Okay. 1-0 to Newcastle. Mike Parry. Let's get a professional's take on this game.
I think Sam is an incredibly strong guy. I think he'll take it off Rafa because Rafa's only been there for 10 days. 2-1 to Sunderland.
2-1 Sunderland.
A late equaliser, I think.
Well, with respect to a proper professional footballer in Mickey Gray, that was the score. No disrespect, Mike. That I know English grammar schools is a standard.
What?
But Mickey Gray says 2-2. Paddy agrees with
what's
you.
the problem?
So, Hull City, Mr. Parry.
United have been so erratic this season.
Yeah.
I believe they're bouncing up and
Talking of
down
erratic.
like a beach ball. What do you mean about erratic, Andy? Sorry. Do you mind if I just finish my prediction?
He didn't say erotic.
Thank you. I see Manchester United taking this one on one of those bizarre results this season. 3-1 to Manchester United.
3-1 to Manchester United. Well, Paddy Powell.
Well, I've just based on Mike's prediction there. You know, I kind of agreed on 3-1, but to Man City then.
Oh, okay. But essentially, the score, but not the outcome. Fair enough.
You're off your head.
3-1 Man City.
Not yet, but I'm getting there.
Thank you once again. It was great to meet a legendary professional footballer like yourself, Mike Parry. Thank you. And
Oh, you bet.
yeah, and